Hi everyone, I'm Astra, Community Manager at Studio Ellipsis. A few weeks ago, we were at the DevGamm conference and we took part in a very stimulating panel called Into the Unknown, New Frontiers of AI in Game Creation. And very interesting topics were raised and we wanted to keep the discussion going. And today, I want to pick some of the brains of our team members. Today with me, I have Alex and Guillaume. Thank you for joining me.
A pleasure, of course.
Let's first take a look at some of the panel, and then after the clip, I'll be back and I will interview them and we'll talk about these topics. So now, Francisco, it's with you.
One for Alex, in looking for the future, recently announced a partnership with Weaverflow to translate fear into measurable data. Do we risk building a world where the unknown no longer exists? Does humanity become when there's what does humanity become when there's nothing left to fear or nothing left to discover?
Can fear be eliminated? I mean, I don't think so. And I think that also when there is nothing left to know, I don't think, and this goes back to your previous question about like sentience and godlike, I don't think that can happen. Before going into entertainment, I actually started studying in science, physics, all right? And there's this theory that I happen to believe in, whereas that the deeper you dig into the world, the more you realize that everything is fake. Like from a physics standpoint, like matter doesn't exist, energy doesn't exist. The only thing that we haven't been able to disprove is information and self-looping information, which is information observing itself, which is what we call awareness. That is the only thing that science today has not been able to say, that's not real. So what does this tell you? It tells you that consciousness comes from outside the construct. This is a projection of consciousness. We are agents of one thing observing itself from various points of view. That means that if consciousness is inherent and comes from outside the projection, how can you create it inside it? You can't. So I don't think AI can be conscious, which isn't to say that it can't be super intelligent and do godlike things and be dangerous. But it comes without consciousness. That's even more dangerous, if you will. So I don't think there's any way for us to kind of solve all the problems we're even with AI. Like, or there will always be unknown.
Alex, Studio Ellipsis has been partnering with Weaverflow to use their tool in our workflow. And at the DevGamm conference, you talked about AI as a springboard for the artist, a tool to explore concepts faster and more effectively. Is that how we use Weaverflow here at the studio?
Well, yes and no. Weaverflow isn't the kind of AI model that everybody's talking about these days. It's not like it does anything for us automatically. What it does is, yes, it does speed up the process, if you will, but it is actually a very revolutionary tool that allows us to kind of unlock things that are a lot more fundamental than just kind of speeding up processes.
Okay, so it's not like other AIs?
No.
And right now, I like to think of all the AI model that we talk about more like a really good parrot with a really good memory. So he learns, he knows a lot, but he repeats things. He doesn't really connect to something really new or human. And I think a lot of the fear around AI is that it will create something that is lacking a soul. But Weaverflow is really the opposite of that. It's a human, and the human experience is really central to the Weaverflow workflow.
Yeah, if anything, it actually helps us move closer to the soul. You know, the things it deals in are kind of deeply human experiences.
Mm-hmm. Experiences of fear.
Yeah, I mean, we're making a horror game, right? So fear is central to that experience. And fear is a human emotion that has been linked to our survival and to everybody's life, wherever you are, whether you're a kid and you're afraid of not being invited to a birthday party, or if you just lost someone you love very much recently and not knowing what to do next. All those experiences in life are deeply connected to fear. And the more you understand fear and not manipulating it, but knowing how to behave, all the choices you make in those moments are really going to impact your life. And the more you understand fear, the better choices you're going to make and the better life you're going to have. And Weaverflow kind of helps with all that.
And has working with Weaverflow revealed insights into humanity that you didn't expect?
Oh yeah, Weaverflow is kind of working with something that holds the entire scope of human history. So, you have literally thousands of years of myths and stories. So it's kind of like using the beaten path to get off the beaten path, if you will.
How so?
Well, imagine you have this fear and you feel it's very personal to you, but then you feed that into Weaverflow and it finds the patterns in it and actually ties into this kind of universal, ancient, deep-seated, like gut-wrenching fear that is kind of almost like baked into the human experience. So it kind of helps reveal all the patterns, and within the familiar, you find the universal.
And on the flip side, you can start with something that feels very generic, but Weaverflow can subvert it and give us some new ideas to see in a different light.
Absolutely. It's almost like if you understand the past, the present, and the future, you kind of get a complete picture of fear. And that's what Weaverflow is really. It's kind of this real-time evolving map of fear.
And what it does, and we can really do, it really helps us connect to that primal the hindbrain that we have. So those primal fear that humans have.
Okay, so Weaverflow helps us get into people's heads. Is there a line between immersion and intrusion?
Yes, but the line I think is different for everybody. The people will have the choice to engage with the experience, and they will have also the choice to engage, decide how deep they want to go.
Yeah, I think it's important to push your psychological limits. This is why we're being so transparent with everybody. I mean, everybody here at the studio has tried Weaverflow. You yourself, Astra, have tried Weaverflow.
I did, indeed.
I know, it can be a weird experience. But, we're actually trying to find ways to get this out to the community. And, the more data we have, the better understanding of fear we'll have, and the better the game will be. And also the scarier the game will be.
And has Weaverflow changed your relationship with fear outside of the studio?
I'd say so. Working with the model can be quite intense. Imagine if this secret or deep-seated fear suddenly manifests on screen. It's very unsettling, but at the same time, it can be quite cathartic.
Yeah, I think that's why the horror genre is really important also, because it's a way for people to confront their own fear and experience them, but in a very safe environment. And on top of that, it can help you and show you how to handle it so that you can be more prepared in your own personal life.
And Weaverflow is safe.
Well, they're cutting edge, and which means that there's always a risk involved, but we trust them, which is why we partnered with them.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for joining me here today.
You're welcome.
Pleasure.
And thank you for being here. Today's look behind the scenes shows how we actually build this experience and how tools like Weaverflow fit into our work. We have a lot more coming, so stay with us. Until next time.